A variety of sports, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, the human drama of athletic competition. This is Voice of Vashon's Live Sports.
Good evening, Voice of Vashon listeners, and welcome to Jefferson County Memorial Athletic Field here in beautiful Port Townsend as we bring you 2026 varsity boys soccer action. The Pirates travel to face the East Jefferson rivals. Thank you for being with us here on KVSH LP 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, or voiceofvashon.org. Oscar Lopez and Tony Crudo in the booth for you today. A lovely field. I love this place. And I know some people will complain it's not the only grass field in the league. Charles Wright play on grass too. And the field is a bit slow, but the booth, the stadium, the cannons outside, the walk-through, they got bars on the ticket counter. I mean, it just feels old school and just feels really great.
This is what it used to feel like in the old days. If anybody is wondering what it's like to play high school soccer 25, 30 years ago, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Grass field, old stadium, just, it's wonderful.
So this is Vashon's first league match of the season, coming off that really difficult opening week where they played Royal, Mercer, and UPrep, a trio of 1-1 draws in all of those games. I think the most recent against UPrep would probably be considered the most disappointing of the draws. However, there are still plenty of positives to take from that game and the whole week.
Oh, yeah. They worked really hard. It was a real challenge. It was amazing to me how they kind of came together in that second half against University. It was good. It was really good play, fun to watch. They looked like they were actually having fun.
So East Jefferson themselves have played 3 games this season, and they're at a perfect 3-0. First game, a 4-2 win against Yelm. Second game, a 2-1 win against Olympic, and most recently a 3-2 win against South Whitby. You know, no offense to East Jefferson, it's no Mercer, but still, Yelm's a 4A school, Olympic's 2A, and South Whitby plays in that same division as UPrep, Overlake, Kings, Bush. So not the easiest teams in the world either, as we got players coming out on the pitch, and I did not know this was coming. Excellent news. Jeff Nelson is back. Jeff Nelson is starting in goal for Vashon. Hopefully he's able to make it through the whole game. We'll go through the rest of the lineup. Caden Miller, Gavin Keenan, as usual. No Felix Cobb-Migater today, so Yvonne and Shrestha starts at left back with Oscar Cobb-Migater over on the right. Sevi Giller and Finn Kennan, the two just ahead of them in midfield. And then the front four for Vashon is August Kampmeyer, Lewis Thompson, Quill Tegenfeld-Foman, and Ryland Knott as the rivals get us underway. And now with Shrestha. Can't control it in the midfield, and it falls to Gavin Keenan. Obviously, Vashon may take a little bit to settle into the slower pace of a grass pitch. Here's Quill Tegenfeld-Foman playing at the center.
Help! Come on, let's go, boys. Yes, go to the tail.
Attacking midfield role, a little bit higher than he normally sits in the midfield for Pirates. As Lewis Thompson plays across to August Kampmeyer, early chance for Vashon. And was that a save? It has gone wide. It was a save, a great save by East Jefferson goalkeeper Emilio Lopez. And Vashon will start things off with a corner 30 seconds in.
Very exciting. I was very interested in what the first 10 minutes would be like. And it looks like East Jefferson's a good team, but it looks like Vashon is ready to play on wet grass.
August Kampmeyer, if you've been around Vashon for a while and watched high school, varsity, and JV, as corners played in by Vashon, header from Tegenfeld-Foman, millimeters wide. We're at the perfect angle here in the booth to see how close that was to the top corner. Good try from Tegenfeld-Foman. August Kampmeyer loves this pitch. He just has, it might even be double-digit goals here for Vashon, varsity and JV. And here he is, Kampmeyer, edge of the 18, Forward into Knott to make it 1-0. Lackluster finish from him. Uncharacteristic. Easy for the goalkeeper.
Oh, I'm getting not a good feeling here.
No. Ball played over the top by the goalkeeper. Dangerous header backwards by Gavin Keenan. And now East Jefferson can attack down the right-hand side. Presto's in a good position to hold up the right winger of the rivals. Lays it back to a midfielder at the corner of the 18-yard box. Dealt with by the Pirates for the moment until a long-range effort is blocked by Finn Kennan. And now the ball's in the center of the pitch with Quill Tegenfeld-Foman. He wanted Kampmeyer making the run down the left. However, August Kampmeyer not aware of that situation. Ball back with Thompson. Forward towards Tegenfeld-Foman. Can't get his foot on it. East Jefferson clear. Looking to play down the left-hand side. The left winger, Renee Martin, I believe that is.
It was a little scary there. East Jefferson sent a long ball up. It was cleared. I think it was Isaac who cleared it. Or was it Gavin?
Yeah, I think it was Gavin Keenan.
It was Gavin, but he had nobody behind him.
Yeah, and he knocked it backwards.
I know. They're going to need to cover behind, because if the ball is sent up in the air, it is going to plop down in the grass and just wait for a forward to run onto it. So they better cover behind the defender.
And that's going to be important for the goalkeeper as well, because he's used to playing on turf and how the ball moves on turf, and he sort of calculates, when do I come up my line, when do I stay on my line. That's going to be different on the grass.
Oh, yeah. That's why I think the first couple minutes, some lessons are going to have to be learned.
Mm-hmm. And East Jefferson will hope to teach those lessons before Vashon can sort of acclimate.
Yeah.
They'll want a fast start to this one. They did make district last year, East Jefferson, who's the best rival team that I've seen as an announcer.
Ooh, that's good.
And they've got a pretty old varsity roster, which makes me think they've retained most of their team. So now here's Thompson, left side of the 18-yard box, attacking for Vashon. Tries a couple of shoulder drops, but the right center back for the Rivals holds firm, and the best Thompson can get out of that is a corner.
Good defense. Good defense by them, and nice effort. Corner kicks, we looked dangerous on that first one.
Yeah, that was unlucky from Tegenfeld-Foman.
That should have been in. He was at the top of the six, aimed for the corner, and missed it by about an inch.
Yeah.
Who's got two?
See where it lands.
So it will be Shrestha, outswinger, sends it towards Miller, but over the head of everybody. Kampmeyer recovers and claims. Turns away from one. Here's August Kampmeyer, forward into Tegenfeld-Foman, leaves it first time into Keenan on his weaker right foot, plays it across the face of goal. Just too far for Knott initially, but he has come onto it, and Vashon will win another corner kick.
Okay. Well, that last one was a bit long out of the penalty area.
Yeah, so Knott took the first one, and it was good, and I think Vashon are more used to those in-swingers, and you see Knott is back over this one. There he is, Knott, a lofty one. Oh, that was the worst yet. It's gone out for a throw-in on the near side.
All the way across the field.
Throw-in taken quickly by East Jefferson. Header won by Keenan, backwards again, but there's Giller. And Nelson will have his first touch of the season. Sending it wide for Shrestha. Under pressure here is Yvonne Shrestha, and he's given it away. Bounce fell favorably for Caden Miller. Sends it back to Nelson, whose only option is to send it long first time. Knott out-muscled by the East Jefferson center back. The ball is in the middle with the Rivals. Heavy pressure coming from Tegenfeld-Foman. East Jefferson just able to get the pass off, but stepping ahead of the right winger of the Rivals is Oscar Kodmeigeter, but he's run out of room. Now here's the left back for East Jefferson. His pass intended for Renee Martin is off the mark. And here's Quill Tegenfeld-Foman. Has seemed lively given the start at a more attacking portion of the midfield. Here is Tegenfeld-Foman. Got away with a bit of a poor pass. It finds Oscar Kodmeigeter. Now Miller, Rivals center forward. Is that number 17? Oh, he's not on the roster. That's disappointing. Ball played forward now by Knott. A high, swerving ball looking for Kampmeyer on the far side. And I think the last touch might have come off of Yvonne Shrestha. It did. East Jefferson have a throw-in on the far side.
Good team. Now, I've noticed Mason Haynes is not out there.
No, he traveled with the team. It's either the ankle issues or he's got something else going on. I think for a game like this, and this is no knock on East Jefferson, but if you're Vashon, you're really just looking at that state tournament, and it makes absolutely no sense to force an important player like Haynes into a situation that he's maybe not comfortable with at this stage of the season. Although, with the Nisqually rules and just the league rules, this Vashon's first league game of the season will count for league standings. This is Vashon's only match against East Jefferson, meaning that this one will count for not just RPI, but also Nisqually League standing.
Do we know if the prior preseason games counted for RPI?
Yep, every official game counts for RPIs. Now here's Kampmeyer running at the back line, turns away from one, but not the second. Falls, though, for Knott. Top of the 18, tries to dink one in towards the run of Kampmeyer. That one's easy for Lopez in goal. No, they all count for RPI. Every game, like official game, the Jamboree games don't.
Have you seen the RPI?
They have not released the first iteration.
Good. Because I looked for it, and I didn't see it either.
Yeah. Now here's Martin down the left for the Rivals. Across comes Giller. Around him easily is Renee Martin. Caden Miller has to cover. Dangerous cross played by Martin. If that striker was about a foot taller, would have gotten there over the head of everyone. But East Jefferson have it this time on the far side. Another decent ball in, missed by Knott. Well, at least they know the best way to get it Vashon, in my opinion, crosses.
Yep. They look good. The East Jefferson team is a decent team.
Now the left back of the Rivals, throwing again.
I don't think they're as sharp in every position, but I think they're aggressive at the offense. They look very dangerous. They look a foot away from being successful up there.
Mm-hmm. Vashon get it up to Thompson, bottom of the center circle, finds Kennan. Now Shrestha migrating forward a bit from his left back starting role. Dangerous pass back, though, by Kampmeyer. And now again, East Jefferson can look to capitalize, but Oscar Kodmigater recovers well, wins the header, and finds Tegenfeld Foam. And he started the game off well, and he's looked to feed it through to Lewis Thompson, who has gotten there. First touch took him wide. What an effort by Thompson. He struck the crossbar. From that angle, that was a lovely hit and deserved a goal.
I thought at first he was chipping him.
Oh, me too, but he just got so much power and dip.
Oh, he really whacked it. Because I saw the goalkeeper coming out, and I thought, oh, he's 22 yards out. Be a great time to chip it. And I thought he chipped it.
And it felt like his body was only at the angle for a chip.
Yeah.
Like he'd have to rotate a bit, so it's hard to get power.
Yeah. It was surprising.
Miscontrolled by Sevi Giller. Thrown on the far side for East Jefferson, who started the game off well, but still will feel like they've gotten away with a couple defensively. Now Kennan, forward into Thompson. His turn was a bit loose. Center back for East Jefferson slid in, and now the Rivals can look to play it over the top. Nelson off his line to head the ball away. Please do that. Don't do that.
Very nervy.
Yeah, with his concussion issues. Sent forward by Keenan, whacked away by the right center back of East Jefferson, Finn Evans. And Vashon have a throw on the far side. He won't be hard to remember with that redhead.
No. Well, Jeff Nelson's been playing out real far.
Mm-hmm. It's his style.
It is his style?
Yeah. He's a modern keeper, born and bred.
Yeah.
Now here's Tegenfeld Foman, turning away from pressure and sending a ball wide for Kodmigater, who tries, I'm not sure if that was a shot or a pass. In the end, it was easy for Lopez diving to his right.
I think that was a shot, but the grass is uneven.
Yep.
And he just clipped it on the inside of his foot.
Sent long by Lopez. Both the striker and Keenan are on the ground. Referee says play on. Keenan wins that battle and sends it to Nelson, who slipped. Oh, good skill by Nelson to get away from the East Jefferson center forward, who was barreling down on him. Vashon need to wake up a bit. East Jefferson putting on some good pressure here.
Well, you don't want to not take your chances. They've had about 4 really good chances. Mm-hmm. They need to take these chances.
Yep. Now here's Ryland Knott. Knott makes a pass through Tegenfeld Foman. Great skill to turn away. Trying to find Thompson, who toes it in the direction of Tegenfeld Foman. It finds its way back to Lewis Thompson, corner of the 18, then takes it wide and down towards the corner flag. Thompson then chips across in. 2 players in the box. It's blocked by an East Jefferson defender and will go out for a goal kick. Last touch came off with Tegenfeld Foman.
Another shot. It was a good defensive pressure. Mm-hmm. Forced him to shoot wide.
Rivals player going down in the midfield. Kampmeyer wants to foul, won't get it. Back with the Rivals sent long. Surely offside it is. Yeah, flag up for offside on the far side. That center forward who I think is number 17, and unfortunately that is not on the roster. We don't have a 17 on the varsity roster.
Maybe we're misreading it. He looks young. He's a very small player.
Well, he looks short.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about young. Good ball down the right-hand side. Kodmigater. Now here's Knott, able to play it across, but again, easy for Lopez.
Wow. Vashon looks very dangerous right now. They're starting to.
Yeah. But they don't look the most solid either. That's a good ball into that center forward. He's looking to turn the corner around. Caden Miller stands his ground, but he's still in possession. Yeah, number 17. He's just not on the roster. Chips on towards the back post. Tressler gets a bit of a shove, enough to put him off, but I know they have kept it into the corner flag. Here's a right winger for the Rivals, another tricky player. Sends it back to the right back, who's got some space to work. Sends it in with his left foot, easily dealt with by Giller, and then Shrestha nodded back in the direction of the Pirates' goal by the Rivals.
They don't stop for any ball that looks like it's going out of bounds.
Nope.
And
They've called a foul.
yeah.
That in a complete error by the referees, I think.
I don't think it was a foul either, but he was going against somebody who wasn't very big.
Yeah.
And the player, I think it was
It's on a Shrestha.
Shrestha.
Yeah, it was shoulder to shoulder. It's pretty much a corner, about 4 yards away from the corner flag. The assistant was right there, and he put his flag up.
Yeah.
So the center referee is always going to defer to the assistant there, but I think the assistant made a mistake.
Yeah, well, I agree. I think it was a size differential that caused the foul. Probably a bigger player wouldn't have even gone over.
So 2 in the wall for the Pirates. Ball floated in by East Jefferson. Not bad, but easy for Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson's a bit big for that.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play it out farther or to the back post.
Sent long by Nelson, forcing the left center back of East Jefferson, Armando Sanchez, into action. Pirates have a throw in on the near side, taken by Thompson into Cobb Migater. Kennan pushing forward, wants it. Instead, Cobb Migater finds Giller in the center circle. Now here's Keenan. Not sure what he was looking for there, kind of just firing one into the midfield. Picked up by the Rivals. Back with the center back, Evans, who doesn't seem too comfortable on the ball, and he's lost it here. However, that first touch from Tegenfeld-Foman let him down. Second ball picked up by Giller. Forward into Connaught, trying to feed it through for Thompson. Under hit by Connaught, but Vashon aren't stopping their pressure here. Now Tegenfeld-Foman inside the 18, sliding challenge made by Sanchez. Got the ball, and then another slide tackle by the Rivals, and it'll be out for a throw-in. As Vashon will make their first substitutions of the match. Newcomb and Haynes will come in. And Shrestha and Tegenfeld-Foman look to be the two, maybe? Let's see. No, Kennan. Shrestha and Kennan come in, so they'll be reworking the formation a bit. Newcomb will be, I assume, playing at right back as he did again in the second half against UPrep. So Cobb Migater switches to left back. Haynes comes in and replaces Thompson at center forward as Lewis Thompson drops to the center attacking midfielder. I thought when Newcomb came on as a right back, the team looked wholly better.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got more range on his passing and his strikes, and he's a strong player.
Mm-hmm. Cobb Migater on the far side in contention with that East Jefferson right winger who's gotten the better of him. Now with the ball here, but running out of room, and will settle for a throw-in is that right winger of East Jefferson, who's a bit far away for me to read the number at this point. It's a dark blue number on a black jersey, so not the easiest to pick out.
I'm going to predict at least one penalty kick today.
Not a bad prediction. Not a bad prediction.
They had a...
Oh, Haynes is in. Haynes is in. Can he get around the keeper? Yes, he can. Mason Haynes will score and make it 1-0 for Vashon. It was a good goal, and Mason Haynes with his third of the year. Came a little bit out of nowhere. Sorry for a bit of a delayed and muted reaction, but it kind of came out of nothing.
Well, the ball slows down, and when it was knocked past the player, it kind of stopped and set up for him, and then Haynes knocked it past the goalkeeper, which was too far if you were playing on turf, but it just laid right in front of him.
Yeah. Well, it's a goal for Mason Haynes. He makes it 3 on the year, and the first assist of the year for Lewis Thompson.
I think he's going to have a good year.
Who? Thompson or Haynes? Yeah.
Both of them. I think they're all going to have a good year.
Yeah. Well, Vashon, we're looking like scoring, and all it took was bringing Haynes onto the pitch.
Yeah.
Give someone with a little bit more of a nose for it, I think.
Mason Haynes is a finisher.
Yeah.
That's what he does, and he will do it against anybody.
Now here are the Rivals with their right back. Vashon turning up the pressure a little bit. Kampmeyer starting this game out on the left. They'll concede a throw-in. Just taken hard and down, but only to Giller. Good first touch into Thompson, but gets completely out-muscled by the center midfielder of East Jefferson, but then an error made by the left back. Now here's Thompson, who looks to fire one from a tough angle. That one's blocked, and the Rivals come away with it. Sanchez looking for Martin. Good step taken by Newcomb, sliding into Sanchez. He loves to throw his body around.
That guy's the one who's going to give a penalty kick.
Yeah, Armando Sanchez has spent more time on the ground than on his feet. Now here's Knott looking to fire one in. That one was not headed in. Blocked. Then Thompson sliding in will concede a throw-in.
Yeah, they're sliding in the penalty area.
Yeah.
Against some very quick players. I don't suggest they continue doing that.
Balls was taken, felt Bowman in midfield. He's made a mess of it, and now East Jefferson looks to counter, but that pass well overhit. Nelson will wait for the pressure to come before picking it up. Rolls it out to his left to Gavin Keenan. He's also had an excellent start to the season. Keenan looking to find Haynes, and Evans has made a mess of it. Haynes is onside here, but he in turn has messed up his touch a little bit, forcing himself wide to the left. Still going Haynes. He's found Kampmeyer. Does he have time for a touch? Yes, he does. Ball took a dangerous hop on the way in, and Lopez adjusted pretty well to keep it from going in.
The goalkeeper dove before the ball got all the way there, and it almost bounced over him.
Taking Foman, since dropping out of that attacking midfielder role and into more of a 6, has looked a little bit lost by the pressure of East Jefferson. But he's had a good start to the season, so I'm sure he'll acclimate. Thrown to the right-hand side for the East Jefferson right back, Jamison Henry. Remember him from last year. Is he setting up for a long throw? Yes, he is. Man, everyone does it.
Yep, let's see, here he goes. The run up.
Now, though, that we have Nelson in goal, I feel a lot less at risk by these. Not a knock on Kampmeyer, but, it's a dangerous header backward by Keenan again. That's 2 or 3 he's had. We're only 20 minutes in here, less. Now here's Knott, wide for the overlapping run of Isaac Newcomb. Forward into Thompson. Haynes making a run. Can Thompson find him? No, he goes down the right-hand side for Newcomb. Tries to play it in first time towards Haynes. Not a bad idea, but too close to Lopez in the end.
Yeah. Well, the field's much smaller than what we're used to. And if you look at the dimensions of it, there's not a lot of room between the sideline and the penalty area.
No. For those of you just tuning in, Vashon with a 1-0 lead away to East Jefferson. Mason Haynes, the goal scorer, and he has another opportunity here. Haynes is in again. Can he make it to? No, he shot it straight into the gut of Lopez.
I think he should have tried to beat him again.
Yeah.
The guy can't catch him.
And he went for power and just made it easy on the goalkeeper. But thank you for being with us here on KVSH LT 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, or voiceofvashon.org. Big thank you to Vashon Thriftway for underwriting all things Vashon Sports. And thank you to Garrett Dorr, who's in the studio today, as East Jefferson look to find an outlet down the left-hand side, well dealt with by Oscar Cobb-Meigeter, moving into his slightly more natural left-back role. Good pass around the corner, taken by Kampmeyer. Now taken Foman into Haynes, who plays it first time down the left for Kampmeyer. There's 2 queuing up in the box for Vashon. Kampmeyer away from one sliding challenge, plays it across. Thompson completely scuffs the effort. What a move and pass by Kampmeyer, and then what a muff by Lewis Thompson. Pretty much stood on the penalty spot. You couldn't ask for an easier finish.
Yeah, I think the weak part of the defense is the Jefferson right back. He's been kind of beat quite a few times. I think if we just focus on that side for a while, we'll just get a lot of joy.
Here's Keenan again under pressure from that lively center forward, who has not stopped. Nelson swings it on the near side for Newcomb, playing at right back. Now Miller. Pass looking for Thompson. It finds its way to Haynes in the center circle. Switches it wide for Knott. Over the top looking for Haynes. What a ball. Good first touch by Haynes. He's left it for Thompson, who's got a great chance to make it too. Deflected up in the air by Lopez. Back into Thompson. Surely now. Lewis Thompson still going. Great save by Lopez. And then Haynes. Great chop. He's gone down in the box. Referee blows his whistle, and
penalty kick.
There's your penalty.
You could see that coming a mile away. An absolute mile away.
And you can see it was a great move by Mason Haynes, a bit of a Ronaldo chop to take it away from, I didn't see who it was.
I think it was our man.
Yeah, Armando Sanchez.
Yeah. He's been on the ground a lot, and he doesn't care where he's doing it. So you could see that one coming again.
Thompson now coming off for Finn Kennan. And it will be Haynes from the penalty spot. An opportunity to make it 2 on the night and 4 on the season for the Pac Northwest man. A up against Lopez, who started the game off pretty well. I'm so shocked Lewis couldn't get a shot off from the space that he had.
Well, he was getting shots off, but hitting the goalkeeper.
Now here's Haynes to make it 2, and he has. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Good penalty from Haynes. A bit of a stuttered run-up, and that run-up, I think, took the keeper out of it. Just waited for him to dive and sent it the other way.
Well, the goalkeeper guessed, and didn't guess well. 50-50 chance, I guess.
2-0 for Vashon as we are now 22 minutes into the first half.
Game's going by fast.
Yeah, feels like it just started, but I mean, East Jefferson are making a game out of it, but they just can't keep up really with the skill and speed. And as you say, it's hard to play a team that's strong in every area of the pitch when you're strong in only some areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
Because they'll just, as you say, with that right back and maybe some other players, they'll just keep going down those avenues.
As a high school coach, I would often put my weakest players in the outside back position.
It's pretty common.
And I think that's the boat they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that those players are leading almost directly to everything we're doing.
Mm-hmm. And now here's Shrestha down the right. Nice back heel to find Newcomb. That's good play. Newcomb's in the box. Across for Tegenfeld. Foreman. And again, it's easy for Lopez. These finishes have not been good.
It's the grass.
Yeah.
Give them. It's a little bit. That ball it doesn't lay flat like when you're on turf. It's bouncing all the time.
Well done. Tegenfeld Foreman's got a lot of room in the midfield here. Cutting inside is quote Tegenfeld Foreman, then trying to flick it into Shrestha. That pass was high and behind him. But it's back now with Kennan. Heavy first touch by him. That looked like a handball from our angle. Evidently not. Nobody was complaining. Now here's Giller. Able to turn one way and then the other. Still not able to find a pass. Eventually checks it back towards Miller, but he's just given it away to that center forward. And East Jefferson completely wastes possession, knocking it all the way forward into Nelson's box as he waits for the pressure to come and then picks it up.
East Jefferson has about 4 players that they've run through the center of the field, and they're trying to work together. They've actually avoided other players, players that they might not trust, to look for each other. I've seen about 3 or 4 examples of that. Probably from experience.
Sent forward by Giller. He wanted Tegenfeld Foreman, cleared away by the rivals. Now with their center back, Evans, but it's given away again to Miller. Top of the center circle, he's found Haynes. Turns the corner to find Kampmeyer. Early ball in by Kampmeyer. He's found Caden Miller, whose touch took it too close to Lopez. Miller's forced to take it wide and then give it to Shrestha. Now Tegenfeld Foreman in the 18, pressed from behind, turns away from that pressure, leaves it for Giller, will hit it first time. Not a bad effort, but again, the grass just killing it.
Yeah.
They got to shoot high.
Well, if they hit it high, when you're on grass, it just goes over the top.
Yeah.
So you just got to hit through the center of the ball and just hope you're aiming where the goalkeeper isn't.
Yep. Now here's Newcomb into Haynes, who will have his eyes on a hat trick here. Haynes chips it, though, towards the back post. It finds Kampmeyer, goes for the volley into Tegenfeld Foreman, who was offside.
Nice idea.
Yeah. I think he was going to try to shoot that, but it just found its way to Tegenfeld Foreman.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose. He wasn't aiming for Quill.
Free kick to come for the rivals, who are trailing 2-0. Both goals courtesy of Mason Haynes. First one, ball played in by Lewis Thompson. Haynes took it around the goalkeeper and slotted in easily. The second one, a penalty that Tony Crudo saw coming a mile away.
It didn't take much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sent forward by the center back. He's got a good foot to him, that guy, but maybe too good. It goes all the way through and bounces into the gloves of Nelson, who I'm sure Vashon players, fans, and coaches alike are grateful to see back on the pitch for the Pirates. I spoke to him today, and evidently the word was he still needed to see a specialist, but he's found his way onto the pitch here as Kampmeyer finds Haynes. Little back heel from Mason Haynes. I'm not sure if he had either Kampmeyer or Shrestha in mind, the two making the run, but in the end it falls to Lopez, who's been busy.
He's going to get lots of chances to practice his dives.
Yep. All the way back now with Nelson again.
Well, they're just driving balls behind our back.
Mm-hmm.
And Nelson's coming out far. They're just not really getting much joy from that, but I got a feeling they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to change. So we can expect lots of those.
Here's Keenan. Drifting wide to the left, looking to send one in with that peach of a left foot he has. Served up a lovely pass for Ryland Cannot. Vashon's only goal on Friday against UPrep. Shrestha sends in a good ball towards Haynes. Couldn't get the purchase on the header. Easy for Lopez.
It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. It seems just a lot of Vashon serving balls into the box.
Well, they're not playing the same kind of game that they played against the University Prep, where they were just doing a lot of possession. It's a little different here. They're looking to just score goals.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of pointless passing.
Well, I think John Thomas might have reminded them of the rule that if at any point you go up by 8 goals, the game ends at 60 minutes.
Oh.
So Vashon might be looking to leave here a bit early. But I'm not sure they're going to get to 8. I mean, we've got 13 to go in the first half, and the score's 2-0. They could be at 8 now with the chances that they've had.
They have not taken their chances.
No,
well.
Just doesn't really feel like the finishing boots are on anybody but Haynes at the minute. As Newcomb sends it back to Nelson, who plays a dangerous ball low in the midfield. Kennan puts in a good tackle and saves Nelson as blushes as Tegan Feldbowman tries to feed it forward into Haynes. That one a little too far to his right, and then allows the East Jefferson left back to come across and clear it out for a throw-in.
I can see how Jefferson will have some success in the league this year. They're not a bad team.
Oh yeah, no, I think they'll be a district playoff team, same as they were last year. Now here's Miller into Giller and Newcomb back to Caden Miller, who has not dazzled in the first 3 games this season in the same way maybe Keenan has, and in the same way that Miller did last year. But in his defense, he hasn't really been ran at that much. Like we saw it against Royal in the first game of the season. And we kind of figured, oh, well, that was just their game plan, running down to the right. He wasn't. He was involved against Mercer, but again, it didn't feel like as much as Gavin Keenan. And then against UPrep, barely saw him.
I feel Vashon's playing a different game this year where he's not on the ball as often.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think they're playing it forward much quicker.
Yeah.
They're not just staying in the back where he touched the ball 20, 30 times in a 10-minute period just because they liked playing back there. So I don't think he's getting the ball nearly as much as he did last year.
Haynes flicks it over the top. Lovely ball into Shrestha, who missed but was offside anyway.
Nice flick.
Yeah, really good. Haynes has come to play today.
Yeah.
I'm fairly positive to find that hat trick before the evening's done.
I think that's a good guess. The outside backs seem to be the weaker players, and they're keeping people on side. And Mason loves running behind the defense. If you give him room and you keep him on sides, he's going to run all day long. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's had the ball taken away from him by his own players twice. So,
substitution made by the Pirates. Colt Holloway comes in to replace August Kampmeyer on the left as Nelson and Miller have had a bit of a mix-up, and the ball is with the rivals inside the 18-yard box. Good chance here for East Jefferson, and they forced Nelson into his first save of the game and therefore the season. It was easy for him just to catch and fall, but that was a chance.
It was a very good chance. Again, they run down everything in the penalty area, laid it cross, and a player just mishit it.
Yeah. Well, I hate to bring up bad memories, but Caden Miller was the one with the aerial mistake that led to UPrep's goal, and another bit of a miscue in the air from him. Couldn't get himself and Nelson straight. I think that one, though, falls on the goalkeeper. He should be calling either that's your ball or it's my ball.
Well, I think it all happened really fast. I mean, the player got down to the corner, turned, and instead of shooting, knocked it across the goal. And I think everybody thought he was going to shoot it. So they had laid off their player, and that's why the guy was wide open. As far as headers, it's hard to jump in the grass when it's wet.
Yeah. Haynes will have to wait a little longer for his hat trick. He's being taken off, replaced at center forward by Thompson. Throw in taken by the rivals on the near side. That was Ryland Cruz. Finds Oscar Cobb-Meiger now with the right back of East Jefferson.
See what I mean?
Yeah, touches it forward into the midfield. Nobody home. Giller plays it into Thompson. He leaves it for Tegenfeld-Bowman, who had to escape from Sanchez, but does so. Can't get away from Evans, however. But Tegenfeld-Bowman picks it back up. The crowd wants a free kick, won't get it. Now here's Shrestha. Overlapping run made by Newcomb. Shrestha instead cuts inside and finds the underlapping run of Thompson, who Lost the ball under his feet a little bit, but Newcomb's picked it up, flicking it in. Here's Lewis Thompson for Vashon. Chipped it across the face of goal. He wanted Holloway. It was just over his head. I'm shocked he didn't go for goal there. Gone all the way back around to Kabmagadu, who serves it back in. Here again is Holloway, and then Thompson sliding in. That one is in the arms of Lopez.
We've got 7 players standing around the penalty area.
Yeah.
I don't know how the score is only 2.
I mean, it's crazy. Over the top, brought down by Newcomb, under pressure from 2. Newcomb loses possession momentarily and then wins it back. Isolated a bit on the right-hand side, but Newcomb's made great headway. Now he's cut in. Just barely got his toe to it to find Tegenfeld-Foman. Wide for Thompson. He and Shrestha are standing on each other here. Thompson cuts inside on his left, but then leaves it for Shrestha down the right. And off of Armando Sanchez, that will be a corner.
He didn't slide, but
Nope, he stayed on his feet. Yeah.
He was starting to. I mean, at the last second, he kind of held up because he got there quick enough.
So this will be the first corner for Vashon on their right-hand side, meaning that the left foot of Shrestha will provide a good in-swinger. Sent in by Shrestha. That's better towards the back post. Good ball in. Header down. Lopez got down to his left and got it away, and Vashon will have another corner. That was one of his better saves.
That was a terrific corner, good header, good save by the goalkeeper, and a good move by the defender who put it out for another corner.
I think it might have been Holloway who got his head on it.
Was it?
This one's played low from Shrestha, easily read by the rivals, but Shrestha will get another bite of the apple. Floated towards the back post, knotted down by Keenan, flicked on, and just wide of the far post. Pirates want a corner. They won't get it. Goal kick.
Well, we're getting lots of chances. And the goalkeeper's done a good job, though. He's got some brave defenders back there, and he's got good hands. I think he wasn't happy when he laid that ball out to the second corner, by the way.
Yeah, he seems to hold himself to a pretty high standard.
Yeah.
Newcomb penalized for 2 hands in the back. I mean, if you're going to call this game tight, then I think that's fine. It wasn't much of a shove to speak of, but he did have 2 hands on his back.
Well, it's still close. It's a close game. It's not a bad idea, especially on a ball at the 50-yard line. Setting the rules, saying you see things.
Yep. Jameson Henry will take this free kick, near side right at the halfway line. Floated in by Henry, way too much airtime, and that's allowed Pirates to get set and get it clear with Kennan. Now here's Tegenfeld-Foman, sending it forward, wanting to get Holloway on his bike, and here is Colt Holloway down the left-hand side, battling with the right winger. He's able to get away, but chipped it into nobody. Cross comes Rylan Cruz. He's given it away to Newcomb. Now Giller finding Tegenfeld-Foman, who's found all kinds of space. He's moved back into the attacking midfielder role. Thompson losing out, can't get it to Shrestha, but Giller's won it back. Now here's Tegenfeld-Foman. Leaves it for Lewis Thompson. He goes wide for Holloway, who maintains possession under pressure and finds the overlapping run of Kennan. Good ball in. Tegenfeld-Foman's around the keeper, but is in an offside position. Would have been 3.
Yeah. That was actually a good job by the defenders. They had stepped forward, and they knew he was offside. So the reason he was wide open in front of the goal was because they had let him.
So for those of us just joining us here on KVSH LP 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, voiceofvashon.org, 2-0 is the score here at Jefferson County Memorial Athletic Field. Pirates up by 2, courtesy of Mason Haynes, both times. Next match for the Pirates is on Thursday. They face Clahalia as East Jefferson have sent it long. Good chest trap to bring it down. And now Struckers in the box, an opportunity, and he sent it over the bar, and you can see he's furious with himself. That was an excellent opportunity for the unnamed center forward, whose number is not on the roster, but what an opportunity. They've had 2 big chances in this half, East Jefferson, and both of the finishes have been poor.
Well, that ball was laid back to him by one of our players who mistrapped it.
Yeah.
So they didn't set him up. We set him up, and he should have done better on that.
Didn't test Nelson at all, just set that one over the bar. And now the center back, Evans, will win the throw off of Tegenfeld-Foman.
Nice. Well, this is a dangerous team. I can see how they scored goals. I can see why they're 3-0. They're not a bad team. They're a very good team.
Thrown hurled long by Henry down the right-hand side. Keenan will be the first to it. Touches it back towards Nelson, who waited a little bit long to step up to the ball. Under pressure, she had to clear it out for a throw-in.
Wow. And they're following up. That player, the one who had the last shot, he was right there.
Yeah.
He doesn't slow down. Good work rate.
Maybe he's the freshman, Mateo Arceo.
Do you think so?
Maybe. But, I mean, he's listed as number 36. Could be a freshman. He is quite small.
Yeah, he's got a bit of thickness to him, but he's at least a foot and a half smaller than everybody else out there. I saw at first, I thought, well, that's the freshman.
Yeah. Throw-in taken by Henry into Chase Gardner. Vashon win a throw-in on the far side, well in their own half. Carmichael sends it forward to Thompson, who couldn't connect with Holloway. And now again, here come the rivals, enjoying a decent spell of possession inside the Pirate half. Down goes East Jefferson player. Referee says nothing doing. And now here's Holloway. Bit of a scrap in the middle of the pitch between both teams, trying to get possession, but Kennon's come away with it. No, it's Holloway, excuse me. Got a player down for East Jefferson. The referee will blow to stop things.
It's gotten a real messy there in the middle third of the field. The other team is, Jefferson is trying to pass the ball. They're trying to put some possession, but Vashon is also doing that.
It's not really a good idea to try and get into a midfield possession game with Vashon, especially with the players they have.
But they're trying.
Yeah,
and I think that's why we're seeing the ball bounce back and forth. And they're this is a player being carried off.
Yeah, well, help. I mean, carried off pretty much. But good on them for getting him off the pitch quickly.
Yeah.
Hope he's okay, but it's nice to get the game going.
I wonder if he's had a prior injury. Because they got two people out there very quick.
Yeah.
And no hesitation. They picked him up, took him off.
So referee deems that Vashon had possession of the ball when he blew the whistle, so he'll restart things with a drop ball to Keenan. Sends it back to Nelson, who under pressure goes long. Picked up by the center back, Evans, trying to connect with Martin on the near side, only finds Giller. Now here's Shrestha. Tried to find Kennon, the pass is behind him, and I think Vashon got very lucky to win a free kick there.
Yeah.
Kennon went to ground because the pass was behind him, and he was stretching to try and get it.
I think the player took him down. That's what the referee called the foul.
I know, but there was some contact, but I really think he went down because he was stretching for the ball.
Okay.
Free kick pretty much from the kickoff spot as Keenan sends it forward. What a ball. Tegenfeldman just miscontrolled it a bit, but the flag again is up for offside.
That was a nice serve. That was a very good. We're able to get him behind him. One of the differences in the second half of the University game, we were making great cutting runs toward behind the defense. We started the game doing that, but we've kind of stopped doing it. You know what I mean? It's like a hangover from the last game.
Yep. Well, we're under a minute now. I'm on the referee's watch at this point, as it's sent long by the rivals down the right-hand side. Cobb-Migater will muscle the ball out of bounds and win a throw-in, taken quickly by Oscar Cobb-Migater down the left-hand side into Holloway. Touches it away from Evans, who then gets smashed into. Rivals come into possession. Now here's Gardner. Sending it long, tried to feed it into that short center forward who would have been really hard pressed to bring that under control. And Nelson still waiting for the pressure, and just a little bit of gamesmanship here from Nelson and the center forward who was trying to goad Nelson into a mistake. Won't get it. Nelson puts his boot through it but slices it and sends it out. For a throw. So all that, and it's East Jefferson's ball.
Yeah, all that, and you get a throw, and it's a halfway.
Yep. Thrown to come from Cruz. Taking his time now. Eventually sends it into number 17, that center forward, who loses out to another 17, Yvonne Shrestha. Miller pressed by two inside the 18-yard box. Good control from him. That should be a free kick, and is. Well done by Caden Miller to escape pressure and then draw the contact. He will take his free kick quickly. Cross for Keenan. Putting his left foot through it. That's a lovely ball into Colt Holloway, who misread the bounce of it slightly and allowed Jamison Henry to get back into a defensive position. And the right fullback for East Jefferson does well to win a throw-in, which he takes quickly into Gardner. And the referee says that's enough. He's blown for halftime. After 40 minutes, 2-0 Vashon lead away at East Jefferson. Both goals courtesy of Mason Haynes. One around the keeper and finished into an empty net. One from the penalty spot. A decent Vashon performance. I think they look a bit flimsy at the back, we'll say. They haven't been super assured, but going forward, they're creating a lot of good chances.
Well, like we said, it's interesting to watch Vashon. Played 4 games that we've watched. In every game, it's been a different situation. They've behaved differently, played differently. I think they're trying to be flexible. They're playing on grass, and so they've changed their game again.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they left Mason out there, I think you'd see more goals because Mason loves to get in behind, and it kind of forces players to give him the ball because he makes such good runs. We're not seeing those runs right now. We're just not. We're seeing longer serves and runs then. So it's a good game. I think the other team is possibly could get a shot, could score a goal.
I could see them scoring. I mean, they've had scoring opportunities that they have not taken.
Yeah.
But based on how they've been playing this season and how they're looking tonight, now our back line is looking, I'm not so sure we get away with a clean sheet here.
I agree. And the second half, the sun's going to be directly in the goalkeeper's eyes.
Yep, Nelson will have a rough time here. He'll be really urging that shadow to just creep a little closer to his goal, but based on how far he steps off his line all the time, he's going to have his face in the sun, which, he's an experienced goalkeeper. He's had that. He's dealt with that before.
But, the other team is putting balls constantly, trying to beat us.
Yeah,
and
right.
The sun could be their best ally in this because it forces our players who are looking into the sun to make quick judgments. And forward could just be running. They've got their head down, hoping it drops in front.
That's what I would be saying if I was the coach, especially after watching Keenan and Miller today. Neither of them looking super assured aerially.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this. The field's wet. It's hard to jump in wet grass. It's just not the same as turf, which kind of almost is like a gym floor.
Yeah, it's wet, but it's not soggy. Like, it hasn't rained since yep, see, it is. Number 17 is Mateo Arceo. Okay. All right, well, every time we've said unnamed center forward or number 17 or whatever, Mateo Arceo, the only freshman in the squad. You can see why he's been called up to varsity. He's a good player.
He's dangerous.
Yep, high energy.
And he's fast. Not only is he fast, he's very quick.
Mm-hmm.
If they give him a yard, he's going to take a slice at it.
Yeah.
And he's done that, but it hasn't gone.
And Nelson's been playing with fire a little bit with him, as has Keenan, so we'll see if they get punished for it.
I agree with you 100%. I'm not really into the whole thing where the goalkeeper kind of almost goads the forward to try and come and get it from him.
Yeah.
As a bit of a combination, time wasting and trolling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just pick up the ball and play. Because otherwise, that forward's just going to start getting mad. And he may come running in and lose his feet, and the next thing you know, you've got some studs hitting you.
Yeah.
And it's really not worth it just to pick up a ball you're going to pick up.
Well, Nelson has slipped already once today, but it's good to see him back.
Yeah.
Like, it really gives a sense of assurance because without him, you don't know what's going to happen with that position. I mean, Kampmeyer did really well in the first 3 games, but he doesn't want to play goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm. Well, and everybody has a role. And Kampmeyer, although he's willing to play in goal, it's unfair to say this is your role.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same thing. But now they have the role filled, and that'll be good for them. It'll be good for them and him.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I think he's still going to see a specialist on Monday. Hopefully they don't give him any bad news.
He looks pretty good now.
Yeah, he seems to be doing okay. He certainly isn't, stumbling around.
No.
He seems, he looks a bit rusty, but he hasn't made any errors, really.
No, he caught a couple breaks.
Mm-hmm.
He had the shot that went right to him.
Yeah, and then the one that went right over.
Yeah, I mean, those two those would have been challenging because those shots were close enough to go in.
He hasn't really been tested.
No, not yet. But he has been tested with his feet and being part of the team and reading space, and that's important.
And Vashon, coming up, we've got 2 more league fixtures after this. Clahalia away, which is our first of 2 games against Clahalia this season, so it won't count for league standings. It'll only count for RPI. Then we play away to Bellevue Christian. You're missing the Clahalia game, the Bellevue Christian game, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving for Hawaii tomorrow.
Right.
But I've been looking at the scores. Bellevue Christian looks a little bit scary.
Well, they certainly have the history to back it up. The most decorated side in Nisqually history, the second most decorated 1A soccer school in Washington, behind Overlake. And
I've been looking at their scores, and they've played some tough teams. I think they played with Bush. I think it was they played Bush.
Yeah, they've got a really good culture there. Haven't been at their best the last few years. You know, it's really been sort of the Vashon Cascade Christian show in the Squaw League, but I could certainly see them climbing back up into that chaser role.
Yes, I talked to the coach of East Jefferson before the game, and he kind of said, yeah, it's been the Vashon show for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And he said he'd love to see it somebody else because it gets tiresome.
Well, this won't be the year, but next year will look very different, so we'll see.
Was that a 5-minute halftime?
It might have been. I mean, I imagine JT would have requested it.
Yeah.
Considering we got a boat to catch and all that.
Usually it's 10, and this is fast.
We got the Rivals players are back on the pitch. Vashon are all huddled up on the side. So sorry, Garrett, you get no halftime break today.
But you don't want to miss this game. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think the second half's going to be better than the first.
You are lucky that you are not traveling out to Cohalion.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, that's not as worth it, I think. I hope I get proved wrong. I never see anything in that team.
Really?
Never. Plus, it's a drive out to Silverdale, and the booth is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe the one positive.
But the girls' team has been fabulous.
Oh yeah, they're excellent. They're excellent. The boys, I think it's just not a sport that their athletes play.
Oh,
their athletes. I think football.
Okay.
Football, maybe baseball, maybe wrestling. But it's just not a soccer school for the boys. But it certainly is for the girls.
Well, the problem with these 1A schools is that you don't have a lot of players.
Right.
And if players are specializing in football or basketball, they don't do soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I could see it happen here on Vashon as well.
Well, Vashon are back out onto the pitch. Not the same team that started the first half, but Nelson is back in for the second half. So I guess that he felt good in that first half. Keenan and Miller and Kodmigeter and Newcomb will start right back. Then we've got Giller and Kennan ahead of the back four. Thompson's at the attacking midfielder role. Mason Haynes is in, but he's starting out on the left with Ryland Cannot at center forward, and August Kampmeyer is out on the right. Header won by Keenan, down into Kennan. Now Miller. Wide for Newcomb. Over in the shade now as the shadows gradually lengthen. Now Kampmeyer cuts inside and finds Sevi Giller. Has to avoid the referee, but plays a lovely pass on the right-hand side for Newcomb. Early ball into Cannot. He's got there ahead of the goalkeeper. Great goal. Lovely finish by Cannot. Lovely pass by Isaac Newcomb, and now it is 3.
That was a great run in behind the defense. And Newcomb could have shot it. I mean, he wasn't a great ankle, but I've seen Vashon players shoot it, but he laid it in there wonderfully.
That's Ryland Cannot's second goal on the season, and he saw Haynes get 2 today and said, well, hang on a minute. It's not quite over yet. I'm going to keep up with you at least a little bit. The only 2 players to have scored for Vashon in 4 games, but of course this match is not over. Now here's Evans back to Lopez. Does feel like that third goal really did put the game out of sight for the Rivals as Armando Sanchez nearly headed it straight into the path of Mason Haynes. But it falls to Lopez, who boots it across for Martin, the left winger. Now Kampmeyer steps in. And the ball's found its way to Thompson, who's shouldered off of it illegally in the eyes of the referee. Vashon will have a free kick in a pretty dangerous area.
I bet he shoots it.
I bet he does, too.
I mean, it's going to sit up right on the grass.
Yep.
Like a tee.
So he's about 15 yards away from the 18-yard box and slightly to the right.
But the goalkeeper's out about 3 yards. It gives him a good space to hit. If he hits a good shot.
Now here's Thompson. Nope, he will chip it towards the back post. Not a bad ball. He was looking for Haynes, but a great fingertip grab by Armando Lopez in goal, who shot puts it out on the right-hand side. He was looking for his left back. Kampmeyer pounced upon it, and he's inside the box, but hung onto it too long. Well, off his line is Armando Lopez. I think Kampmeyer wasn't going to go for a goal. He's going to look for a pass across the face of goal, but waited too long. He has it again, though, Kampmeyer. Him and Newcomb working on possession here for Vashon. Then the referee's blown for something here. East Jefferson will have a free kick. I think it was that sliding challenge from Kampmeyer, even though he got a little bit of the ball.
Yeah. Well, I think Kampmeyer just put it a little in front of him because of the grass.
I don't mind this referee. He's clearly reffing this game really tight.
Yeah.
But in this game environment, you don't want anyone getting hurt. There's no point in, letting them play. Wow, that guy hammered that thing. Jameson Henry sending it all the way forward to Mateo Arceo. He's able to turn around Keenan and go for goal, but that angle was really against him, and all he can do is sky it up and out for a goal kick.
That was a good effort. And he's being told by his teammates, keep your head up. Yeah, they want him to do it.
Well, he's been their most electric forward, for sure, as Miller goes wide for Newcomb. He's got Kampmeyer down the right, but instead will look to send it into Haynes. No, it is wide for Kampmeyer. Plays it early into Haynes. Is he onside? Haynes goes for a great save by Lopez, and then headed away by Jameson Henry. He was onside, but now here's Canuck. Good move to turn away from Sanchez. Canuck plays it behind Kampmeyer, who all he can do is back for Giller. Stevie Giller hanging onto the ball too long in midfield, gets away with it, or has he? Let's see. Giller still in possession. Eventually gets it back to Miller. Forward for Newcomb. Now Kampmeyer. Stevie Giller again. Again, here's Isaac Newcomb.
Here's that run.
Now Giller again, sliding in is Sanchez. Man, he loves to hit the turf.
He does.
Still on the ball, Stevie Giller is able to get his cross in, but it's easily dealt with by Evans. Not a great clearance by the second rival, though. Third puts his boot through it, and East Jefferson can now look to counter down the left. Miller, though, too fast for the on-rushing rivals forward. He will send the ball all the way back to Nelson inside his 18-yard box. He played a dangerous pass down the right. Now here come the rivals again. Their center midfielder going wide for... No, number 36, Mateo Arceo, is the right winger. Have they switched? What? I'm confused.
No, he's number 17.
No, but look, Mateo Arceo is listed on the roster as number 36. There's somebody wearing number 36 who also is,
this is a roster here. I don't know who 36 would be.
Huh. Well, he is Latin American, so he would have the last name Arceo, but now down the right-hand side, here comes Jameson Henry, allowed Kampmeyer to catch up, who towed it out for what would have been a corner on a turf field and ends up stopping and allows Keenan to come across to pick it up as Kampmeyer is hit hard from behind. And looks like he felt that one. Kampmeyer will get up. He certainly is a fighter, but if he hangs down on the ground for a while, it was painful.
Yeah. It was a freshman. That was a freshman who hit him.
Yeah.
So a freshman took out a senior for a sec there. Oh, they called a foul.
Yeah. I mean, if the other ones are a foul, that's got to be a foul, too. Free kick will be taken by Keenan, shielding his eyes from the sun. Now, forward, here is Arceo, or maybe here is Arceo. We don't know. Kampmeyer under pressure from both Arceos, both Mateo Arceos. I see. Here we go. So we've gotten confirmation from guy in the booth who's operating the scoreboard. Number 36 is Mateo Arceo. Number 17 is Alan Morales, who's listed on the roster as number 8. But now it's Haynes to want a hat trick. Has he got it? No. Wide of the near post. Mason Haynes had an opportunity. He was outside the 18-yard box. I think he went near post because the keeper cheated a bit far.
The keepers come out real far. If I was GT, I would suggest to the player, lift your head, because the goalkeeper's coming out really far. With his grasp, you can just chip it over his head.
Yep. Kampmeyer trying to force his way past Sanchez, who stands his ground well. But here's August Kampmeyer, edge of the 18 near the byline, and will concede a goal kick. Well defended by Sanchez. Yeah, this team's strong. The Jefferson team's strong.
They started the game off. They love this crisp passing, and I think they want to do it. Vashon's hard to do that with, but they want to do it.
They certainly could do it against Southern, this quality team.
Oh, yes. I think they're going to have a lot of joy this year.
As they did last year. So, yeah, just to confirm, the center forward we've been talking about is not Mateo Arceo. It is Alan Morales, the sophomore. And Mateo Arceo is the right winger of East Jefferson, number 36. Now here's Morales. It's away from Thompson. And, again, this ref is pretty much calling anything that resembles contact. So East Jefferson will win a free kick. Thompson having a bit of friendly debate with the man in red, who is reminding Thompson that he is the one with the badge.
Okay, this is what we were talking about. The sun is in our goalkeeper's eyes.
No, the shadows. Look, the shadows have gone. Oh, shadows have gone. Oh, yeah, he got off a bit.
I think he's still going to serve it right up in front of that goal.
Well, this guy's been whacking him, Jefferson Henry. He's a big kid. Sent in by Henry, floated a decent ball, but that is catching practice for Nelson, who arrows one out with his arm towards Haynes, well read by the center back Evans. Gets there ahead of Mason Haynes, who's on a hat trick, meaning he has scored 2 goals and will be looking for his 3rd. Again, there's Evans to get there ahead of Haynes. Cobb-Migater trying to bowl his way through. Across comes Jamison Henry, and he will win a throw-in off of Cobb-Migater. We are, well, I think the scoreboard got started a bit late, so I'm not quite sure how long into the second half we are. It feels like maybe 15 minutes.
It could be. I mean, this half feels a little slower than the first half. First half just flew by.
Yep. But either way, Vashon up 3-0. 2 goals from Haynes, 1 from Knott. Thank you for being with us on KVSH LP 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, or voiceofvashon.org. Big thank you to Vashon Thriftway for underwriting all things Vashon sports. And thank you to Garrett Dorr, who is spending his first of hopefully many games this season in the studio. Ball played over the top looking. Easy off his line is Emilio Lopez. He will distribute it out to Arceo on the near side. Finds an easy pass into Crosby Prey. And Prey looks to send it in the direction of Alan Morales. That one's easy for Keenan. Now here's Giller into Kampmeyer. He's had a good game out on the, well, he's on the right now, but he started the first half on the left at winger. Kampmeyer's had a good game. Thompson leaves it for Sevi Giller, who tried to play it forward towards Knott. That one's intercepted by Evans, and now East Jefferson can look to counter, and would have done if not for a strong tackle made by Caden Miller on Chase Gardner. The ball's with Prey. He's gone down the right-hand side. Now here's the freshman, Mateo Arceo, the only freshman in the varsity squad for East Jefferson, not just the lineup. Arceo, though, finding Cobb-Migater a bit too much to deal with, so he has to go back into Prey. A couple of 1-2 combinations between the two of them, and here's Arceo again. He'll cut back and look for a long ball towards the back post. It's a good ball by Arceo. It was a bit too much for Newcomb to deal with, and again they've sent it across the face of goal over the head of everybody. Hard to send crosses in with when your center forward is, as you say, a foot and a half shorter than everybody else, but he's played in a good ball for Gardner, who had to get around Miller, couldn't do so, but Miller concedes the corner.
That was not bad. That was good combination work by them, very aggressive. They didn't give up any balls, and every time they got a chance, they put it in front of the goal.
A couple of substitutions for the Pirates. It'll be Tegenfeld, Foman, and Shrestha, the two coming on. Cobb-Migater and Thompson are the two off. And they say never make a sub before defending a corner, so we'll see how this goes. It'll be, I think that is Morales to send it. It makes sense considering he wouldn't be much off of a corner. Sends it towards the near post. That one easily dealt with right at the near post by Caden Miller. Now here's Haynes. Cuts inside away from Gardner, finding Tegenfeld, Foman. The grass getting the best of Tegenfeld, Foman. His first touch went upward, and now it's back with Gardner, who can only give it to Keenan. He, in turn, goes back to Nelson. Nelson playing a calm, a pass that he was calm about, but Tony wasn't.
I was not. It's tough on you make those passes right up the center of the field when you've got players who are just darting around.
East Jefferson finding a good string of possession here until Kampmeyer recovered and won it back for Vashon. Now here's Tegenfeld, Foman. Touched it in the direction of Knott, bit hot to handle. Back with Sanchez. Now Prey. Didn't see the pressure coming from behind from Finn Cannon, but Crosby Prey's a pretty big kid himself. Wants a foul for the tug from Mason Haynes. I want to say shocked he didn't get it. This wrestling calling everything. Sent long by the boot of Lopez. Miller wins the initial header, but now here's Gardner. Turning away from Sevi Giller, but again recovering really well is August Kampmeyer. Now Tegenfeld, Foman. He loses out to Crosby Prey, who goes down under pressure and will win a free kick. Crosby Prey having a good second half for the rival.
He's been winning a lot of these tackles. He's getting in. It looks like he's deep sometimes, but he's long-legged, and he kind of reaches across people, draws fouls, and wins balls. Okay, another one of these long balls.
Finn Cannon's been subbed off here for Colt Holloway. So I imagine a bit of a rework of the midfield structure. But yep, from inside the center circle will be Jamison Henry to take the free kick. Directing traffic, waiting for everybody to get in position. Henry will float one in. That's his best ball so far, headed upwards by Miller, and that one will go out for a corner.
They finally put the big guy in there.
Mm-hmm.
They put Prey in there, and that was their target. That's what they were aiming for, and that's a smarter thing than aiming for the goalkeeper, the little tiny guy or the goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
So they put somebody with some size in front. Let's see if they go for him.
I imagine. Well, it is the corner.
There he goes. He's trying to get right in the middle.
Sent in by Morales. That's a good ball and well dealt with at the back stick by Isaac Newcomb, who needed to get there ahead of Armando Sanchez, or excuse me, not Sanchez. That was the freshman Mateo Arceo who was lurking. It ends up being a throw-in on the far side for Vashon, which is weird because I thought Newcomb got the last touch on it. Miller, pressured by Morales, has to go long. Not the closest to it, but Sanchez easily touches it back for Lopez.
You know, to be honest, the tactical wheels have fallen off the Vashon wagon. They are not controlling the midfield right now.
No.
Maybe that's why he made his subs, but we're not controlling the midfield. They're actually controlling the game a little bit, and we're back on our heels. There's no fear that we're not going to win the game, but we want to control the game.
Now taking Felt-Foman. Finds Giller. Now the center back, Caden Miller.
Okay.
Again, Tegan Felt-Foman, bottom of the 18-yard box. That's an exquisite pass by Tegan Felt-Foman. And Kammeyer's gone for goal early. He got the right height on the chip, but it was wide of the goal and out for a goal kick. It was a good idea.
Well, we're talking about that. The goalkeeper's coming out to cut the angle on the shot, but he's basically leaving anything above him.
Yeah.
So you just have to chip it over his head. And I think Kampmeyer realized that.
Mm-hmm. Warming up on the touchline for Vashon is Marshall Wade, who hasn't gotten much varsity time so far. I think only appearing in one of the matches. Header won by Shrestha. Down into Tegan Felt-Foman. Away from Prey. Finds Haynes' lovely back heel, but sliding in is Henry. He read that well. And Shrestha goes down under contact from Arceo. And Vashon have a free kick. Halfway line all the way over on this near side.
They have some good players on the ball. They're tricky.
Mm-hmm. And I really think they could be definitely top 4, maybe top 3.
Where?
In the squad.
Oh, yeah.
No, not in state. Good ball in. Kampmeyer was offside, but he hasn't touched it, and Holloway scored, but the referee's blown for offside. Now, what's the ruling here?
I think he did touch it, by the way.
He did touch it?
Yeah, you could. I was able to see it. It's moved. It's flipped on.
And even if he didn't touch it, the question would then be, was he part of the play? Like, did he affect play?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was an offside. It was a good call by the line.
Free kick will be just outside the 18 for the rivals, sent long by Jamison Henry. Header won by Keenan, down into Kennan. First touch is a good one into space for Kampmeyer, who just couldn't stretch his legs long enough to reach it ahead of Evans. Now Arceo trying to turn around Shrestha, stands his ground well. Mateo Arceo looking for Morales. Good skill by him to deal with a lackluster pass, and then a good pass by Morales. Now Arceo's in the box. He's got away. He's got the shot up. It's a good save by Nelson, diving to his right. First real save he's had to make all game, and therefore all season. But now Haynes can look to go down the left-hand side. Good ball by Tegan Felt-Foman. Haynes looked to play it in early for Connaught and had the right direction on that pass. It's not for Sanchez, who gets sacked by Mason Haynes' shoulder. And then what? Oh, the referee's waited way too long to blow his whistle there. I'm sorry. You can't.
I don't think that was a foul.
I don't think it was either, and Haynes seems to be agreeing. He's protesting with the referee. Yeah, that's unfortunate because Haynes showed great physicality there.
That was a fantastic save by Nelson, by the way.
Oh, yeah, what a save.
That was spectacular.
Really well worked between Arceo and Morales.
Yeah, they caught Vashon and then split him. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, and Jeff really had to come up. It was a great save. I hope that gives him confidence going forward.
Yep. As Vashon's made a couple subs, so Shrestha and Haynes are off, and that hat-trick was real likely in the first half, and now, I mean, he might be off for the rest of the game. Marshall Wade is coming out on the left, and Oscar Kabager's back in at left back. Good sliding challenge by Kampmeyer.
Haynes has been subbing a lot.
Yes, I think he's not 100%. He's still got that ankle issue. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I think he was saving himself for UW tryouts, but those were last weekend, I think.
Were they?
Yeah. Now, Morales can't get it under his spell. Kampmeyer. Dangerous pass back to Keenan, but he gets there ahead of Gardner. Now Miller into Giller.
See, that's a nice combination.
Wide for Holloway. Back into Kampmeyer. Vashon playing really well right now. Kampmeyer waiting for the run of Tegan Felt-Foman, who let it roll under his foot for some reason. Wade puts in a foot, and it falls to Kampmeyer, who looks to touch one in the direction of Holloway, who gets there. Cole Holloway now with an opportunity on his left. Went for the Travell on his right. Completely miscaught it, but He somehow still got the ball here, eventually cleared away by the rivals. Out wide on the right, towards the corner of the 18-yard box. It'll be picked up by Gillard, who drifts wide out of his center midfield role. Overlapping run found by Gillard. Here's Newcomb, away from one, but lost control of the ball. Then Gillard wound up and fired. It was blocked on its way in, and off the deflection, East Jefferson have it throwing.
It's a real mix of tactics. You know, we're setting some long balls through, but we're also making these great runs behind the defense from the inside outside, and those are really successful. I'd like to see us do more of that.
Sent long by Gardner, intercepted initially by Newcomb. Can they win the second ball? No, they can't. Newcomb, great skill. Now here's Tegenfeld-Foman. The run is being made by Wade. Tegenfeld-Foman tried for the Travella ball. In the end, it goes straight into the arms of Lopez. Now here's Arceo trying to go down the right-hand side for Morales. I think he would have been offside. I think the assistant thought the same, but kept his flag down, seeing as the ball went all the way through to Nelson.
I think the idea was good. The player was off, and the service wasn't great. But the idea, he tried to get under it.
Ooh. Miller under pressure from a couple, gives it back to Nelson. Very confident with his feet, Jeff Nelson. That was one of the big selling points for him in the last year's debate of him versus Tanner.
He's off.
Knott was offside. Doesn't seem too convinced of that himself.
Well, he didn't see the fact that the players behind him and ball stepped forward. There's a reason why he was wide open. I could see how he didn't realize it.
Free kick will be drifting more towards this near side, and
it's not where the offsides was, but
no,
nobody cares.
Jamison Henry's got a big foot. We'll see if he likes to send this long. I mean, he must, because nobody's checking in short. Walloped long by Henry. Easy header by Keenan, assuming the only one challenging for it was Morales, who is a foot and a half shorter than Keenan at least. Now Gardner, looking for Arceo. Picked up by Vashon and Marshall Wade on the left-hand side. Couldn't find Knott. Stepping into Henry. Wade got a foot to it, but it falls to Arceo. Now Gardner. Oh, miscommunication between Arceo and Henry, and Vashon will have a throw-in.
They've been showing a lot of spark here. I think Jefferson is starting to feel that they can do something this game. I don't know about win it, but they can feel that they can do something.
Keenan sends his throw in long. Kabagater tried to get ahead to it, but it's sent long. That's a really good ball, and first touch of Martin really let down whoever it was who played that ball. Now Holloway touching it back towards Newcomb. Under hit pass as Newcomb's really wrestling Renee Martin to the ground here. Referee seen enough. Blows for a free kick taken quickly by the rivals. Ball into Morales, whose first touch got Keenan right back into the game. And actually, I think that last touch came off of a rival. Referee concurs. It'll be a goal kick. Now here come Thompson and Shrestha subbing in for Kampmeyer and Knott.
I think their forward went for a big wall pass. He should have just turned and fired on goal.
He really should have.
He had room.
And you'd think he would. I mean, he's got good instincts as a forward, Alan Morales.
Yeah. I don't know why well, maybe it was a friend. This is a very set-up training ground corner. They're all lined up in a line. Yeah, at the top of the 18. Big space to run into.
Morales will take it. This will be the first time he'll have an in-swinger. Seems to be on all their corners. Alan Morales. I remember him from last year. That name really rings a bell.
Let's see who goes to the back post.
It's Sanchez. Played in by Morales. I think he was going for goal.
I think you're right.
And that'll be out for a goal kick.
I mean, the way they set that up, it seemed like you'd want to set up a back post runner. Somebody coming around, marking at the goalkeeper, and just attacking.
Nobody really doing that, though.
No, they just kind of ran.
They're pressing Vashon in the box here, though. Keenan plays it across for Miller, who finds a good ball into Newcomb, who brings up an even better first touch. Now Kennan, nice drop of the shoulder to escape, and he'll flick it long for Shrestha, who was onside. Plays it back for Kennan. Let the East Jefferson defender into it a little bit, but Kennan stands his ground and plays a good ball down the left-hand side for Wade. Marshall Wade, a little bit off balance, is able to touch it into Holloway, but there's Armando Sanchez, who intercepts and gets it clear. Keenan has to come across and win it back for Vashon. Finds Cobb Migeter. He fires one in the direction of Holloway, but that one all the way through for Lopez.
I think he needs to get in a little closer. I think these long through balls are not going to work. Even if they're 40 yards, I think they need to get in closer.
Now here's Thompson. forward towards Tegenfeld-Foam, but again, Lopez off his line gets there well ahead of the Pirate midfielder.
Yeah.
Keenan wins it in the air again, but gets it to an East Jefferson player. The last came off the toe of Morales, but his touch made it easy for Nelson. Oh!
And did I
Yeah,
tell
here
you
comes
that?
the card. Here comes the card for Alan Morales. He slid in on Jeff Nelson, who got his hand away just in time, but not his leg, so Morales will have to sub off.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It's not worth it for him to do that. He's been doing it to the kid, and so the kid's going, I'm going to go in one of these times.
Yeah.
And whether he does it on purpose or he just slides out, I think he may have just slid out, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was trying to slide. I think his feet just gave out. It's wet. And, you know, Jeff could get hurt doing something like that, so I don't think he should do it. Yeah, that's just me.
I think Nelson's always going to do that kind of thing.
I know.
He's not really. He's one of those guys who's willing to try and get in the other team's head a bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking, you know, it just. How much time are you saving? We're ahead 3-0. You're saving, 4 or 5 seconds?
Yep.
Just pick the ball up, play the ball, let's go. That's just me, though. I'm not saying he's not a good goalkeeper. He's fantastic. But he doesn't need to do it.
Well, just a reminder for those listening of Vashon's upcoming schedule. 2 days from now, they travel to face Clahowya. After that, next week, they're away to Bellevue Christian on Monday. And on Thursday, their first home game of the season is a big one, hosting Overlake, the most decorated side in all of 1A, and just a constantly good team. As East Jefferson win a throw on the far side. Get you the times of those matches here. The Clahowya game kicks off at 6:15. Bellevue Christian is a 3:30 p.m. kickoff, and Overlake is at 6.
Vashon's not afraid to play it in their own penalty area.
No, never have been. Oh, lovely touch by Thompson. Great behind-the-back flick to find Shrestha, who cuts inside on his left foot. Has runner,
Here you go.
finds a lovely ball down the right for Thompson. Can they finish off this move? What a goal. This would be Thompson. Saved by Lopez. Second effort, Thompson. 4-0. What a goal. That is an incredible goal by Vashon.
Good passing, good combination, good run.
And Thompson really needed that goal,
Yeah.
I think. His confidence was a bit down after his performance against UPrep.
Well, the goalkeeper, Lopez, made a great save. It was a one-on-one situation. Thompson drove it into his stomach, but it came back out, and Thompson had the calmness to just knock it into the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had to put it over the goalkeeper who was laying on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, Thompson's been good today. He's got a goal and an assist. Lopez has been really, really good as well. He's certainly one of their better players, and I think he just gets let down. He gets let down a bit by the reaction time of his back line, because that feels like the second time he's made a save, and just nobody's been there.
Well, we're coming in behind these two outside backs. I kind of said at the beginning, they're strong in the middle with Sanchez, but the outside backs are beatable, and we've beat them, I don't know, a bunch.
Right. Evans trying to make his way through the midfield, loses out to Kennan, but there's Lopez again, gets there ahead of Holloway. No Finn Holloway today, taking a driver's ed class. Sounded like it was either this game or the Clahowya game, and I'm a little bit shocked he didn't decide to miss the Clahowya game. I think East Jefferson are a bit better. Now Cobb Migeter forward into Holloway. Trying to get it back to Tegan Philp-Bowman. That's one in the midfield by East Jefferson, but then Finn Kennan able to put his shoulder in and take it away from the East Jefferson attacker. Now here's Keenan, the direction of Holloway. It falls to Jameson Henry. He's pressed by Colt Holloway. Henry forced wide, but it stays in. I think Holloway thought he was going out, so he sort of stopped his pursuit, and the ball from Henry forces Keenan into a header out for a throw-in.
They haven't put Morales back in.
Nope, no, I think they're maybe saving him.
Yeah.
Or maybe that coach is like you. It just if someone gets a yellow card, they're done for the game.
It's not me. It was a situational coaching decision.
Yeah.
When you have a team that's had 7 or 8 red cards in the prior season, you got to do something.
Well, was that just the rule you always kept, or was it just for that first season?
No, just the first season.
Now here's Wade. He's gone through everybody here, but then I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. In the end, it was pretty much a pass right at Lopez in goal.
He had the player sniffing at his right foot. He should have moved to his left foot, but I don't know if he has a cultured left foot.
Yeah. Kennan spending too much time on the ball and losing out in the midfield, and now East Jefferson can look to attack down the left. Nelson is off his line. Hammers one, and that was a good header backwards by Sanchez. Picked up by Lopez. Now here's Evans for the Rivals. Into the center midfielder, Robin Evans. Now Thompson will line one up from range and slipped while trying to make the shot. Allowing an easy grab for Lopez. Now East Jefferson can look to attack quickly. A.J. Ross on the ball. He loses out to Shrestha. Great recovery, speed, and physicality from Ivana Shrestha. Hearing some praise from John Thomas on the touchline. Where is he?
I think Thomas could have put that through the Shrestha. I mean, we're making runs all over the place right now.
Thomas, JT's on the field?
No,
I'm sorry. I've done that before, actually. I've called him Lewis Thomas.
Yeah.
But I just talked about JT, so I was wondering if you were talking about it.
Well, what's happening now is their defense is slowing down, and we've got just players just running through, waiting for a ball to be put to their feet. I think we're going to see. 10 minutes left. I still think we could score 2 more goals.
Well, Haynes is coming on here. He'll want that hat trick.
Okay.
He's replacing Isaac Newcomb as Gavin Keenan prepares to send in a long throw. Sent in by Keenan behind Wade, but it's still bouncing around in there. Holloway gets his foot to it, and Cobb-Magater had to generate a lot of power and direction with the header in the end. Didn't really get either. It was easy for Lopez. Now here's Arceo. Back for Henry. Good pressure by Holloway, who's kept it in here, Cole Holloway. Now Marshall Wade finding Tegenfeld-Foman, but that's good recovery from Jamison Henry, who never stopped after giving it away. And Henry will go long. Ethan and Miller in a bit of trouble here, and Nelson had to make a save, diving to his left off of what I think was a pass back from Keenan.
No, Keenan hit it off of their forward, who was running alongside of him, and it looked like a shot from the player. It was a good save by Jeff.
He's on the ball here, Nelson. Cross for Keenan. Now Tegenfeld-Foman, who was a bit stitched up by that pass from Keenan, but he's won possession back for Vashon. Now Miller into Kennan and Thompson. Inside the center circle, Thompson feeds it forward into Holloway. Goes down from pressure behind, made by the center back Evans, who will get a yellow card. And that will be a free kick for Vashon. I think it was not quite due to the severity of the challenge, but more the position Vashon were in.
Yeah. If our player hadn't been fouled, he was going to push it through for Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
It was right there. He was looking at him. He had the ball, and the player took him just before he could get that ball off, which is a smart play.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't violent. It was just necessary.
Free kick for the Pirates will be taken by Shrestha. It's about 7 or so yards ahead of the top of the center circle, and ever so slightly to the left.
He's going to drop it in there.
Yep. Played in by Shrestha. He'll loft it. He wanted Tegenfeld-Foman at the back post, overhit and out for a goal kick.
He's overhit a few balls today.
Yep. I think he might be overcompensating for the grass.
I think so, too. Well, it's like a tee. It's up there, and you're used to hitting harder underneath it. It's just going.
Yeah.
It's too bad because that was a great opportunity.
Just notice Mason Haynes is at right back. So
really?
Yep. So maybe not on that hat trick. But what's the point of putting him back in then?
Well, maybe he just wants to play.
Yep. Had Jamison Henry will take this free kick and wallop it all the way back. Keenan, for a moment, looked like he was going to return it volleyball style with his arms cupped together, but he does, in fact, use the legal part of his body, his head. Now here's Kennan, just ahead of the center circle. He goes back for Gavin Keenan on the halfway line. Good pressure from the East Jefferson center forward. Keenan, though, foot skill's a bit too much for him. It's a forward into Kennan. Haynes wants it. Kennan instead decides to distribute it wide for Yvonne and Shrestha.
Okay, now we were in a good position to do. Look at how many players we've got up front.
Yeah,
we've got 5 guys on the starting blocks, just looking for a ball through.
Mm-hmm. Here's Haynes down the right. He's able to get away from one. Thompson flicks it back. Good ball. Tegenfeld-Foman. What are they doing here? Nobody wants to go for goal. Marshall Wade ends up with it on the near side of the 18-yard box. He gets it back for Cobb-Magater, pressed by Arceo. Cobb-Magater still going on the ball. He'll line one up. It took a bit of a nasty hop, but Lopez gets there all the same.
Well, that should have been a goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there.
Well, you've got 5 people standing in front of the goal. Like I said, everybody's running through when we get within 30 yards of the goal. Anybody who doesn't have the ball is running.
Nelson with a dangerous ball into midfield. It evades Kennan and now is with the center midfielder Gardner. Forward into Ethan Calvert. He has it taken off of him by Miller. Still going is Caden Miller.
He's looking for that through ball.
Yeah. Oh, couldn't find it, but it falls to Shrest on the right-hand side. He's away from one, sliding into Sanchez, who, of course, a very good sliding challenge from him, but Thompson's won the second ball. Edge of the 18-yard box. He's gone down, wants a free kick. No, the referee points to the spot. It was in apparently. Oh, let Haynes take it. Come on. Give him his hat trick.
Let's see if he is.
Has he given a penalty? What's he given? I couldn't tell what he was pointing to.
Let's see.
Nope, it's a free kick. He's given a free kick. It was weird. It looked like he was pointing.
I thought it was outside the penalty.
I thought it was too, but then it really looked like he was pointing to the spot.
Yeah. Well, maybe he was just saying it's in that direction, and it looked like he was pointing to the spot. But I agree. I didn't think it was a penalty kick. Well, it was a foul. But it wasn't a penalty.
So it'll be out to the right on the edge of the 18. If this was a close game, I think you got to give this to Shrestha. His left foot makes the most sense here, and he's really good from dead balls from pretty much exactly there.
Yeah.
I imagine Haynes will want to take this because he wants a hat trick.
But Haynes is right-footer, and he can curl it around the wall to the near post.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper, where is he going? Well, I think it's time to go to the back post.
Miller's standing in front of him. I assume he'll move when the ball is taken because that'll put him in an offside position. Yep. Miller does move. Free kick is low, taken by Shrestha that hit the wall. Or maybe it was taken by Keenan. There was actually a pole in the way. So now here's Finn Kennan into Thompson, who turned away from 2, but not the third. Vashon has been pushed all the way back to the halfway line, essentially. Keenan sends it forward, but there's Armando Sanchez to clear his lines. Goes all the way back to Nelson. Now Cobb Migater into Keenan. You can see East Jefferson have gotten a bit tired at this point as Keenan chips it forward. He wanted Shrestha. The pass was just a bit behind him, and even though he attempted to get his heel onto it, Shrestha couldn't get it. Cleared away by the rivals into Haynes, who's turned away from a couple, but let the ball roll too far in front of him. And then subsequently, his pass wasn't the best. And now, with Haynes out of position, East Jefferson looks to counter.
He's off.
And he is offside. No, they haven't scored anyway. They've missed. The referee's got his, or assistant's got his flag up. The center ref hasn't seen it yet. His flag's still up. We'll see when the assistant sees it. Will he see it?
Yeah.
There it is. Now he's got it. Offside.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close.
I
couldn't score anyway.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Good chance, though. The funny thing is, it scores 4-0. They've had at least 4 chances they could have scored on.
I think 4-0. I think a 4-goal differential is probably fair for this game.
Yeah, I think.
But Vashon are a bit lucky to have kept a clean sheet.
I think so, too. I think they should have scored at least 1 goal.
This game, I think, should be about 6-1.
Yeah, that would have been fair. Mm-hmm. But look at what we're doing. We got Mason Haynes playing right back.
Yeah.
What is that? I don't. Does that mean that we're trying to score, or are we just?
I think we're just
playing.
We're just messing around.
I think we're just playing.
I think Mason wanted to come back on, but he wanted to keep Holloway and Wade.
Look at that. We've got 8 players on the edge on their last defender.
Then forward by Haynes. It found Kennan, but you could only send it backward. Good towering header taken by Holloway. Second effort cleared away by Sanchez. It was cleared all the way out by East Jefferson. Now taking Felt Foreman is able to touch it forward, and we'll stay inbounds down the right-hand side near the corner flag. Taking Felt Foreman, fights off the defender, plays it into Kennan. Good ball.
That was a good idea.
Tried to flick it into Thompson, but a bit too slow with his movement, Finn Kennan. He won it back, though, for Vashon, but then giving it right back away.
Well, he was doing those quick through balls we were talking about that we saw a lot in the second half, where they're just looking for quick, sharp, chop-type passes between the defenders. I think we really want to get good at those.
Oh, heavy touch by Oscar Cobb Migater, and now Arceo can look to go the other way, but Cobb Migater standing firm with the ball back for Vashon and goes into Gavin Keenan. Under heavy pressure, Keenan is able to get away from it again. Still going down the left. Gavin Keenan plays it forward into Miller, is onside. Corner of the 18. Miller goes back for Cobb Migater as we're nearing the end of this one. Chips it towards the back post. Great ball. Great first touch by Shrestha. What a goal this would be, but he sent it well high and wide out for a goal kick.
That was very nice. Everybody was moving toward the goal. He pulled it back, got it in his left foot, and just skied it.
Yep, nearing the end of the match. It's only 7:04. We got so much time.
We got a lot.
We're making that, Bo. You can stop at the gas station.
I can stop at the gas station to get some burritos.
Yeah.
In Chimicum.
Yeah. Well, gas station burritos, you might have to take another stop at the toilet.
Well, the ferry's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking Foreman into Haynes. Pushing forward from right back, Mason Haynes, top of the center circle, still going. Finds Holloway. Haynes has gone down. I think
call it.
Yeah, referee says play on. Now here's Jamison Henry. Only as far as Miller. At this point, it feels like East Jefferson has given up.
Offside.
Played forward by Kennan towards Wade. Flag is up. And as you say, Wade was offside, and East Jefferson will have a free kick.
Yeah, Sanchez had pulled up just before it was struck. He's
not a bad center back if he just stay on his feet.
Yeah, I think he was maybe overly excited because he hasn't done much of that after doing the first four.
Yeah.
Having a penalty kick against him.
Header won by Haynes. Left by Thompson for Tegan Foreman, who tried to play it into Shrestha under hit. And cleared away by the rivals, brought down by Miller. There's Thompson, the halfway line. Turns away from one, but then he in turn underhits his pass. East Jefferson clear it.
Look, we've got 4 players in a line. Make it 5.
Yep.
Obviously, we're looking for through ball.
Yeah, it seems to be the idea here.
Yes. I think, well, look at Cobb's over here off the field.
This is Wade.
He's so wide that he's off the field.
This is Marshall Wade.
Oh, is that Marshall?
Yeah. They look quite similar, the hair.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. Vashon have a throw in on the far side, and you're right. Wade was not even heels on the touchline. He was toes on the touchline.
Yeah, he was off the field.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is illegal, as you know. Or is that in football?
I honestly, well, Gareth Bale scored a goal against Barcelona about a decade back where he ran out of bounds and then back in. So
Okay.
I don't think it's illegal.
It's not illegal.
Now here's Holloway with an attempted header. In the end, he caught it in the wrong direction. Now Haynes, good turn, but hasn't muscled off of him by a rival. Header won by Kennan, but couldn't find Thompson. East Jefferson may be looking for a consolation goal that they will feel they've deserved. But the referee will say no. That is full-time. Vashon win here at Jefferson County Memorial Athletic Field by a score of 4-0. Goals coming from Haynes, Connaught, and Thompson. Haynes getting the 2, so no hat trick for Mason Haynes, but still a very, very good performance from him. But, Tony, I would ask you, who is your man of the match? Because I need time to think on it.
You know, I have to think a bit on it as well because I liked some of the things. I thought Keenan was good. Thompson has a great goal and an assist. There were a lot of good. I don't think we were as sharp as we would like to be. There were a lot of balls given away. Just it kind of. But the other team did run. I thought they fell apart a little bit when Morales left the field.
Right.
I mean, their game is to find him, basically. And without him on the field, they just put it in an area where he would have gone, and it didn't happen.
I thought Tegan Foreman had a good first half. Didn't really do much in the second half.
Agreed. I was going to say the same thing. Quill was great in the first half. The second half, I didn't see him.
Yep. Thompson, I think, was all right in the first half, had some chances. Better in the second half. I think, for me, it's between Thompson and Haynes.
Yeah, I guess. It was nice that Thompson scored.
Yeah.
So that was nice. It was
goal and an assist. He scored a very good goal.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had a good assist as well. What was his assist? Let's see. It was the first goal of the second half, was it? So who scored that? It was Ryland Connaught scored.
Yes.
I can't picture it in my mind. I don't know. He got the assist. Anyway, I think I'm going to go with Lewis Thompson. I think Haynes was dangerous when he came on, especially in the first half. Wasn't as effective in the second half, but didn't play as much of the game as Thompson. I thought Lewis Thompson was, looked somewhat shaky at the very beginning of the match, but warmed up into it and ended up getting his goal. So I'm going to go with Thompson.
Yeah, I guess I would. I'm going to go with Gavin Keenan.
Okay.
And my reasoning is a little bit different. I think it was really hard to play the perfect game out here. The other team buzzed around quite a bit, but the surface wasn't forgiving.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a passing team. So there were a lot of bad passes, and the ball would bobble up, and we'd hit it to the other team. It wasn't. I didn't see anybody who played an entire game beautifully. It was just
no,
too random.
It was a bit of a mess at times, but on this field and after such a long bus ride,
Yeah.
you can't really expect greatness. But 4-0 is a good result. The first win of the season.
Yeah.
And that win will count just in general for RPI and also for the league standings.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with what you said. I think it was about a 4-0, 5-0, 5-goal differential game.
Yeah, something like that. Good to see Nelson back. Quite happy that he's, at least for now, feeling good enough to play and goal for Vashon.
Well, if he played, he's probably fine now.
Yeah, but he still has to see that specialist. So we'll see if they concur that he's all right.
So you think we should, remind him what his address is or something like that in case he's asked?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that bad, but I still worry that maybe he feels better, but it's still like a real issue.
Well, we're going to be able to find out because there's another game here coming up.
But he doesn't see the specialist until Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess we'll find out then. We'll see if he goes to that game away at Bellevue Christian.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we sign off, just a reminder of the upcoming matches. Next game is away at Cahokia on Thursday. That's a 6:30 kickoff. And after that, they have a 3-day break until they travel to Marymore to play Bellevue Christian on Monday. And then a week from Thursday is their first home game of the season and one of the biggest games of the season so far. 6 o'clock kickoff. They play Overlake. Please come to that match if you can. Vashon could use your support. And they will be unveiling their new home kits, which I've seen, and they're very nice.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
Much better than the last ones, in my opinion. Well, before we sign off, any final thoughts, Tony?
No, I thought it was a good game, a good win. They needed to win the game. Got to win eventually, and I think the players wanted to win. They did what they needed to do.
Yep. Well, thank you for being with us on KVSH LP 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, or voiceofvashon.org. Final thank you to Vashon Thriftway for underwriting all things Vashon Sports. And thank you again to Garrett Dorr for doing what he does in the studio. And we leave you here in Port Townsend from Jefferson County Memorial Athletic Field with the final score, the East Jefferson Rivals 0, the Vashon Island Pirates 4.